evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Inside Job. Today, I am honored to have the first African American and female regional vice president from one of the leading financial firms in the US. And she is also the chairwoman for the Mavis Scarlet Foundation, Miss Stephanie Dunstan.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to sit and chat with me and to share your journey to success.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you. Well, I usually like to start out by asking each guest to kind of explain what their role is and what the responsibilities entail so that me or people in the audience, someone watching in, can kind of have a better understanding of what it is that you do. So if you can just walk me through a day in Stephanie's world.
Oh my gosh, things are forever changing. But as you mentioned, I work for a publicly traded financial company here. Company is based overseas in Bermuda, but we have U.S. operations that's based in Jersey City, and we have offices in all the major cities throughout America. My current role right now as a regional vice president, I'm responsible for leading an underwriting team for one of our largest regions. So we underwrite financial products, right, for large Fortune 1000 companies. Again, we assess their financial statements, their 10K, come up with what we believe is suitable for the product that they are requesting, to also ensure that they are in compliance with the state. And so we come up with this product, and we're constantly meeting with sometimes the CEOs, but most often it's the CFOs and the treasurers of those companies, because they are the ones that are responsible for making the financial decisions on behalf of the company.
Oh, can you say that again? Just kidding. And, I mentioned earlier that you were the youngest and first African-American female regional VP for your company. Obviously, that didn't happen overnight. And looking at your bio, I see that you've held several senior positions prior to this in states as Philadelphia, Los Angeles, New York, most recently Atlanta. How have you found it being a female senior executive in corporate America, and did the culture change from state to state?
Okay, excellent question there. Well, first of all, let me just clarify that, yes, the youngest regional vice president, but definitely the first African-American within my division. The company, it's a multi-billion-dollar company. We have several divisions. Most of them, I don't know what they do. But I do want to just speak on behalf of my division, which is almost $1 billion operation. And I'm definitely the first African-American female in that division within this role. So again, as you mentioned, I did have a very fast-paced career. And I often get that question, well, how did you do it? I must be completely honest with you to say that when I started in this career, I did not start out with the mindset that one day I wanted to be a regional vice president, or I had this specific goal in mind. For me as a person, I get up every day and I do my absolute best. I do my best. And most importantly, if I'm at a job, at a career, if I'm at a company, I need to know what my purpose is. So once I identify my purpose, not only in my professional life, but in my personal life, then I work towards my best so that I'm accomplishing my goals, and most importantly, strive to become a better person than I am today. How can I add value to who I am as a person, whether that be through networking with people who are going to pull me along the way, or just advancing my career, advancing my education.
Okay, and you mentioned adding value to who you are as a person, and that kind of segues into my next question for you. Obviously, you are well accomplished, as the regional VP in your daily profession. But one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that you are also the chairwoman for the Mavis Scarlet Foundation. Can you tell us what that is and your purpose and mission for this foundation?
Sure, thank you. So the Mavis Scarlet Foundation is a nonprofit organization that I founded on behalf of my grandmother, Mavis Scarlet. She worked at the Queenside School in Jamaica for almost 40 years of her life. My grandmother was highly dedicated to an education. She truly believed that an education would be the way for children, especially, to pave their way out of beyond their economic situation. So after my grandmother's passing, I decided I wanted to do something in her honor, right? Because of her beliefs. And honestly, it's because of her who I am, where I'm at today, because she really instilled in us having your education, going after your education, and to becoming a better person. So I created this organization on behalf of her. And our mission is just to provide financial assistance to those challenging students in Jamaica. So we started the organization in 2017, and we started out the partnership with one school, have now extended it to 2 schools, and now offer private scholarships. And we use those money to help pay for students their school fee, AKA their tuition, their uniforms, and their books. And again, our mission is just to make affordable education available to all students. That's our goal. I think it's at such a disadvantage to see kids in certain areas have access to quality education where children in, lower economic environment don't have access to that. And we do want to make that available to all, because that's how you're going to break that poverty cycle that's been in children's lives, generations to generations.
Now you said Jamaica. Do you mean Jamaica Queens, or are we talking about Jamaica, Jamaica?
Jamaica, Usain Bolt, Jamaica.
Oh, not Jamaica. The fun one with the sun.
Yes.
Okay, and if people wanted to, and you can give me this information and I'll post it as well. If people were interested, is this a foundation where they can go onto your website and make donations?
That's correct. I often tell people that the cost of a cup of coffee can drastically improve the life of a student in Jamaica. We are an official 501c3 organization. People are able to make donations via our website at mavisscarletfoundation.org. We are on Instagram under the handle Mavis Scarlet Foundation. So again, you make the donation, you get your receipt, you can claim your donation, you can write that off back in taxes. So we're fully up and operational, and given what's going on with COVID-19, we're still working with the schools to figure out what's going to happen for the 2020 September calendar year. And we're still looking to continue our mission as much as possible. It's within our heart, it's something that we're dedicated to, and we'll continue to push forward despite the challenges we're facing right now.
Well said. And see, it goes back again to what I'm saying, that you are a well-rounded person. So it's not just about making the money, it's also taking the time to give back to those that are not as fortunate or might not have the opportunity as you and I may.
Correct.
Now, my next question, it's funny, I thought about it because up until I think last year, I heard this question. I'm like, why did I even bother asking this question? It's so unrealistic. It's not going to happen in my lifetime, and it's far-fetched. So my question to you is, up until now, it was far-fetched. If you're on a deserted island, what 5 things would you have with you? What are your 5 must-haves? I guess now, because it's like we're on deserted islands, each and every one of us.
Oh, a deserted island. Okay, that's a very good question. I'm going to start off with my eyebrow pencil.
Mine too. And
I need my eyebrows. So my eyebrow pencil, I would definitely say my cell phone and my charger. That's one item. Okay, that's one altogether. Oh, gosh, the very good question. Okay, for food, I have access to fish. I would certainly know how to make fire. I'm on an island, so I have access to fruit. So, maybe food I won't worry so much about, right? So a blanket, right? So I can sleep warm at night, but then I could probably use leaves. That's a very good question. 5, blanket, eyebrow pencil, cell phone and a cell phone and a charger, and 2 other items. A lighter, 4, and the 5th item, a Bible.
Amen. Something good. Well, so you look good while you're reading the Bible, and just in case somebody call you,
Exactly.
you look good. If it's the preacher, it looks like you're reading the Bible, and you'll be warm.
Right.
The eyebrow pencil was definitely, and the cell phone and the Bible. Those are 3 that I had for sure. I was going back and forth with lip gloss, but as long as I have the eyebrow pencil, then I'm good to go.
Exactly.
And kind of segueing, the premise of the Inside Job is to inform and to empower individuals like myself who are beginning or trying to maintain their journey to success. So I'm going to ask you to just dig deep and to share with us a major challenge that you had to overcome, how you overcame it, and what you learned from it. How did that challenge make you the success that you are today?
That's an excellent question. And it really ties back into the first question that you asked me about how did I elevate within my career, especially with moving around throughout some of the major cities in America, right? And so, I was born in Jamaica. I grew up in Philadelphia. With my family. That's where I built my core group of friends. How did I get out of that? Philadelphia is a tough environment. One of the greatest challenges I faced in my life was to step outside of my comfort zone. So let me just backtrack here a little bit. So when I say step outside of my comfort zone, I'm not talking about from a geographic perspective. For me, it was more so from a mental standpoint, right? Because people become what they know, right? You live amongst something, you see it, you live it, you breathe it. That's what you know. You automatically become immune to your society. And for me, it was when I was in college and I had the opportunity to go to Penn State outside of Philadelphia, being in a different environment with different group of people with different background. And I started to realize that what I grew up with, I did not want to become a part of that anymore. And it was at that point, my very close friend back then, who's now my best friend, started to introduce me to some books. And I started to read more. And I started to look at the environment I grew up in and look at some of the older people and what they had accomplished in their lives. And I said, you know what, I can do more. And I had a sense of, I started to understand who I am as a person. So for me, my greatest challenge was to step outside of my comfort zone. And then with that, I became like fearless. And I said, you know what? I can do anything. I am not afraid of challenges. I am going to step into the game and do what I have to do because, again, it goes back to my purpose. I know what I want out of life. So when these opportunities within my career came up, okay, Stephanie, here's an opportunity in New York, LA, Atlanta. I was like fully prepared because, again, I don't see that fear. I don't see the challenges. So it was taking ownership of who I am. And, most importantly, I had a connection with God. Whenever I have an idea, an opportunity that pops in mind, I connect with God. God, lead and direct me in the right way. If you see that this is the best fit for me, then take me along that path, right? And, throughout my entire journey within my career, I've been doing it by myself. My family still has no idea what I do. Most of the time, they don't know where I'm at. They're like, okay, where are you in America? A lot of people don't know where I live, and that's fine.
Well, they know now. You can't go anywhere.
But again, I've just always approached life in a fearless manner. Issues are going to come up, but guess what? I'm going to find a way to get over it. I'm going to conquer my challenges, get over that hurdle. But you have to get out of what you're accustomed to. And that's how you're truly going to succeed, is when you step beyond those boundaries and just get really connected with yourself and God, and just know that there's a purpose. We're all here for a reason. We're not just here to live and die. We're here for a purpose, and you need to connect with yourself and with God. And of course, you're going to meet people in your life that is going to try to distract you on your track, and you have to stay focused and stay true to yourself and know who you are. And like they say, you know, as you go through life, you have to be mindful of who you stop along the way to take up advice from, because not everyone has the right to have the input in your life, you know. So I'm still, you know, I'm still improving. There's always a better version of who I am today. And as long as I'm alive, I'll be working towards that.
Thank you. Thank you. Great answer. So if I'm just out of college and I'm interested in being the next Stephanie Dunstan, or like her, a VP, just quick track, what steps do you think I should take, you know, as to career? What steps did you take to get to where you are now?
So what I did immediately, while I was in college, I started right then and there to align myself with people who I wanted to become like. So it's all about networking and quickly identify your mentors, okay? A lot of my mentors now are my friends. They don't know that they are my mentors. But these are people I can just call up on, right? And these are people that are here, and I'm here, and I want to get there. And, you know, so I align myself with them so I can become more like them. So what I would tell a younger version of Stephanie is continue to network. Continue to build up on your education, okay? You know, a lot of people say those things behind me don't mean much, but for me it does. I did not do them because I was trying to look recognition from others. I did them for my own personal achievement. And so that my kids can say, well, you know, mommy did this and mommy did that. I'm creating a legacy here for my own family. So again, networking, knowing who you are, strive for improvement, and build up on your education.
Okay, great. And my last question, you kind of summed it up, but it's in 15 seconds or less. Tell me what my biggest takeaway from our conversation should be.
Okay. Ooh, good. Okay. Your biggest takeaway from this conversation should be that, for me, right, as it relates to me, obviously, yes. Right? Okay. That Stephanie Dunstan is a woman who is fearless. Okay. She knows who she is. Okay. She faces her challenges head on. She believes in self-improvement. She has a strong connection with God, and she will always be the better version of who she is today.
Okay. So be fearless, be confident in who you are, have some sort of belief, whether it is God, as Stephanie, believe in a higher being. And what was that last one? Be a better version. Always
strive for improvement. Strive for improvement.
Always strive for improvement. Stephanie, I thank you so much again for taking the time out. I can see all those degrees behind your back. I'm not quite sure if they're even real, but I'm just kidding. I know they're real. And I'm always proud and happy when I see not just a female, but an African-American female strive and is able to be successful. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And thank you everyone for watching another episode of The Inside Job. Remember, every disappointment leads to an appointment. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay home. God bless.